Uh, well, my first experience with Elvis was I was working at Crown Electric Company when he came to work there, and I was an electrician, and Elvis was a material boy at that time, and he drove a little truck. He would bring material out on a job for us, and he put stuff up when they come in on the trucks. He would put stuff in the bins, and then his electrician would call in to the shop for material, and Mr. Tipler would give Elvis a note, tell him what all to bring out to the job, so we'd go out to the job, and he would bring them out to the job we was on, and we would get the material, and I just knew him vaguely at that time. I just a little bit, not very much. I would see him from time to time. Didn't really know him very much, except I went on Saturdays when I was going up to the movie. Uh, I would walk through the Lauderdale courts, and that's where he lived, and Lee Denson lived there, Jimmy Denson lived there, Johnny Black lived there, Bill Black and Johnny Black lived there, Elvis' bass player. And I've been up through the mall several times going to the movie on Saturdays, and they would be out there sitting on the shade tree by the girls' club, picking guitars, singing, and I saw that several times, but I was playing a band on weekends, and they was kind of, they was a little younger than we were, and I never stopped by and listened to them very much. I could hear them from where I was walking. Then later on, I was going to work one morning, and they played this record on the radio. And I heard that thing, and it knocked me out. I had never heard anything like it before in my life. And That's All Right, Mama. And they said Elvis Presley, and I said, that's that guy who works over there at the shop. And so then it was Scotty and Bill, and I knew Scotty and Bill real good. And so I said, oh, God, boy, what a sound. That's the best sound I've ever heard in my life. So when we got on the job, a bunch of us guys got to talking about it. They'd heard it too, so it just came out. And so they was all talking about it. And that weekend, I got with Johnny Burnette and Doresey Burnette, and we was all talking about that sound, and slap bass and everything. Dorsey said, I could slap bass like that. And he'd been slapping bass like that. He said, I could slap like that way. And Dorsey was slapping a little bit different than Bill was doing at that time. So he just changed over and started slapping that way. Johnny played the rhythm like Elvis did, and I played guitar. But I didn't play like Scotty. Well, I had my own little stuff I was putting on there. We got to practicing and playing some shows around Memphis there, some clubs and stuff like that. Then later on, we took off to New York City, and we went to New York, and we went as electrician. Dorsey and I did through our union hall. We had a referral to go to work in New York City. Johnny at that time, he didn't have a trade. He collected cars. He would go out with this finance company, pull cars in when people get behind on their note. And so we decided to go up to New York, so we just took off and went up there. And we hung out for about a week before we went to work. And we was just watching and looking at everything, and just going from here to there, looking at everything. One night we decided to go down to Stop the Music Show, Burt Parks. And we went down there, and after the show was over, we walked backstage and met him. Johnny threw his hand out, what do you say, Burt? And he shook hands with him, he said, hey, Burt, how about us getting on your show? Burt says, well, what do you do? He says, well, I sing and play guitar, and Paul plays guitar, and my brother Dorsey plays bass. And he said, well, he said, that's not the type of show I have. He said, y'all should go down and see about getting on the Arthur Godfrey show or Ted Mack show or something like that. So he told us where to go and to do an audition for the Ted Mack show, where he came on live. So we went down to this Ted Mack show that Sunday night, watched them when they recorded. And so after the show was over there, we went backstage to the side door, and we asked the usher there, who would you see about getting on this show? And he said, that fellow over there on the other side of the stage over there, he said, his name is Oscar Shoemaker. And he said, he'll tell you all about it, how to get on it and everything. So we went over there and talked to him after the show was over. And he said, well, you come up to the studio up here on the 49th Street or something like that on Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Be up there at 7 o'clock. He said, and he said, well, we do an audition. He said, if you're good enough, we'll put you on. So we was up there, we got up, we went, well, we didn't have a bass with us. Dorsey didn't take a big bass with him. So I just had my guitar and amp. Johnny had his guitar. So we walked about halfway. We'd already went and rent a bass up there from a music store. And about halfway up there, we went to the day before, and we was going to pick it up that afternoon going up to the Nola studio. So we walked by, picked up the bass, and then walked all the way up 34th Street. We were standing at the YMCA on 34th Street. And we walked all the way up to 49th or 59th, somewhere up Broadway. Right up, brought up Broadway, carrying all that, carrying our instruments with us. And as we got to Nola studio, they told us to be there at 7 o'clock. When we got there, we walked in this two-story building. As we walked in this lobby, you had to sign a paper to sign in. When we got there, it was a line going all the way up to the second floor and then all the way down the long hall up there. And we said, boy, you know, we'll get in there. So, but we said, well, we got all the way up here. We might as well stay and try to get in there, you know, if we can. So we went up, we just got in line, and we waited. We finally got up to the second floor and went by the men's restroom. So Johnny's sitting in line, and I took my guitar in the bathroom with Dorsey's bass. We tuned up in the bathroom, and we went back out there, and then Dorsey waited in line. Johnny and I went in the bathroom two together. So we just kept moving down this hallway. You know, I was sitting on my amp slide down. We got a long way from the door. Everybody was coming out there was telling us, well, y'all might as well go home. Everybody might as well go home. They're not taking anybody till October, November. This was in March. And we said, well, we made it this far. We're going to keep on. We'll stay here and let them tell us that, you know. So we just went on in. And when we got to the door, it was going to close. We was, I think, about the last ones that they took for that night. About 12, just before 12 o'clock. And so this fella came out and he said, okay, boys, he said, you've got about 5 minutes to do what you got to do, and then we're going to close down. So we said, okay. So when I walked in the door, he said, okay, come on in. And I put my amplifier in. There was some steps right behind the door going up to a balcony. It was encased in glass. There was a board up there, and they had a microphone to talk back and forth to us up there from downstairs. And I looked up there, and all these older people were sitting on this board, you know, and I said, oh, boy, they're not going to like this. To myself. I said, they're not going to like this at all. So this guy said, okay, boy, said, let's hear one, you know, do one. So we did one, and I looked up there, you know, trying to get the reactions of people's face up there, and I saw this one little lady, she's kind of clapping her hands, you know. I said, well, we got her on our side. So there's about 5 of them up there, you know. So he said, okay, boys, can you do one more? We did that first one. He said, okay, boys, can you do another one? Yes, sir. So we did the second song, and a couple of them got to kind of moving their heads, you know, a little bit. And so I said, maybe, you know. So he said, okay, boys, after we did the second song, he said, can you do another one? Johnny said, yes, sir, we can sing to you all night long. And he said, I think one more will be sufficient. So we did one more song, and they talked for a while upstairs while we get my amplifier and everything wrapped up, put the guitar back in the case. And we stood down there, and he came down the steps. He said, boys, he said, I'll tell you what. He said, y'all got an unusual group here. He said, it's different than what we've been having on the show. He said, we're going to put you on in 2 weeks. He said, don't tell people outside when you go out there. He said, we're going to put you on in 2 weeks. We said, wow, no kidding? He said, yeah. So we went back to the wife and called our families, told everybody we was going to be on in 2 weeks, you know, and everybody was cheering for us and congratulating us and everything. So we was all happy about it. We're sitting in the room laughing and talking, and the phone rang, and they called back. He said, boys, he said, we're going to move you up to next week. So I said, wow, this, you know, this is fine. So we had to call back home, tell the people back home what was going on the next week, so they would watch it. So anyway, we went on the thing and won it, and we won it 3 weeks in a row. And so then we had to go back later on. We had to go on tour with Ted Mack right after we won 3 times. All 3-time winners that year had to go on tour. So we was actually tied up with him till May. It was from March for 2 months, and we didn't get to do our first recording until May. And so we had to go on tour with them. And all 3-time winners had to go on this tour with Ted Mack and his crew. And we got back to Nashville, and we had Capitol Records was wanting us to sign with them, and I wanted to sign with them, but Johnny and Doresey Henry voted me down, so I wanted to go with them because they had a lot more distribution than Coral did. So we signed with Coral, and we did our first session at the Pipe and Temple in New York City in May 1956. And we didn't like the sound we was getting there, so we talked Bob Thiel and Henry Drome to call in Nashville, see if we could come to Nashville, do the rest of the album in Nashville. So they got in touch with Owen Bradley. And Owen Bradley said that we could come down there and do it, and he would be glad to work with us. And so we talked to Henry. So Henry went down with us to Nashville. We met Owen Bradley, did the rest of the album down at Nashville, and we enjoyed that a lot better. I remember the 4th of July that we was having a lot of problems that morning. We'd been working for 2 or 3 days and worked real hard. And the 4th of July, everybody was talking about going to the lake and fishing and everything. And we were sitting up there working, and I don't know, we just couldn't get anything done on the 4th of July. We just couldn't get anything done at all that morning. So Owen just stopped everything. He said, "Come on, boys, we're going down to the river." So we went down to the river. He had this big yacht down there, and he took us fishing. Took us down the river on his yacht. We ate watermelon and corn on the cob. So when we got back to the studio, we knocked out 3 songs that afternoon, and that was good. Knocked out 3 songs one afternoon. So it must have relaxed us pretty good. So we felt a lot better after going on that trip. Rested and relaxed and stuff.